Welcome back, writers. I loved seeing your seed stories yesterday. You did a good job at picking a small moment that didn't take too much time and drew 3 great sketches to go with it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get started on our actual writing. To start a story, we need a great starting sentence or introduction sentence. So I'm going to show you a few examples. If you remember, my story was about going to a pond and catching a frog. So I'm going to show you some examples of sentences that you could use, and I'm going to also show you how I would use them for my frog story. Okay, so here are 4 sentences that you are more than welcome to use, or you could come up with your own. So the first sentence idea is, have you ever? So if I was going to use this one for my story, I might say, have you ever caught a frog? And it's a question, and it makes my reader say, yes, I want to read more, or maybe, no, but I want to read more, I'm interested. The next example is, do you like? So for my sentence, I might say, do you like frogs? Once again, it's another question, and it gets your reader a little bit interested in what you are writing about. My third example is, I had the best blank. So I would write, I had the best day at the pond. And my last example is, I remember. Okay, we're telling a story about something that happened already, right? It happened in the past. So I might say, I remember having a great day at the pond. Or I remember my first time catching a frog. And all 4 of those sentences would be a great start to a story, and they would get our reader interested and wanting to read more. All right, so those are 4 examples that you are more than welcome to go back to and use for your story. Now, I'm going to show you what I chose. I chose the have you ever starter sentence, and I wrote, have you ever caught a frog? Okay, now, after you write your introduction sentence, you are now going to work to write a buddy sentence to go with it. A buddy sentence I like to think of as like a friend sentence that gives a little bit more information, but it's not totally different. Okay, it's just giving a little bit more information about to go along with my introduction, with my beginning of my story. You can also think of it as taking a magnifying glass and zooming in on that small moment, okay, and coming up with another sentence to give just a bit more information. So my second sentence, or my buddy sentence, is, one day my family brought nets to a pond to see what we could find. Okay, so I'm going to read them together for you now. Listen to my buddy sentences. Have you ever caught a frog? One day my family brought nets to a pond to see what we could find. Okay, so I have my introduction sentence, and I have a good buddy sentence to go with it. The only other thing I did in addition to that today is I added to my sketch. I added more detail, okay? Because as good writers, that's what we like to do. We want to add detail to our writing, and we want to add detail to our pictures. So I told you yesterday, don't spend too much time on your drawings. Today, if you remember my picture from yesterday, what I added was I put some clothes on my people. I made sure there was grass under our feet so we weren't floating in the air. I added some flowers, and I added some trees in the background to show we were in a very outdoorsy, woodsy place by this pond. So today, you are working on an introduction sentence, a buddy sentence. Those both go on page number 1, your first page. I didn't move on to page 2 or 3 today. And then you're going to add some detail to your picture. All right, I can't wait to see the great start to your small moment story. Tomorrow we will continue with the middle of our story. Have fun, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.